Hey everybody, it's Casual Boops coming at you with another video, and today we're going to cover the GSOR 1008, the Tier 8 British Premium Tank Destroyer. Again, I don't know if you've seen the other videos. This is something that was introduced in the holiday boxes for this last year, and I did a video on it then. I called it the Clippening. This is going to be the Clippening 2.0. We're going to cover the tank again, just because you know, now that people have gotten used to the tank a little bit. It's been in the game for a few months, and people have kind of gotten used to what it can do and what it can't do. And yeah, so we'll just jump right into it. If you're new here, be sure to, I guess, like, subscribe, do the things on YouTube, and then also, you know, the Twitch. I have a Twitch channel. Be sure to follow on that, and you see me do stupid things in real time. Anyways, so about the GSOR, basically, if you're not familiar, it has a 4-round clip, and the DPM is awful, but it does 1,280 damage in a clip, and the intra clip is 2 seconds. So by the time the guy shoots you the first time, it's, you know, shoot, 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 and you've just taken 1,200 damage. So it's pretty devastating, pretty debilitating to get clicked on by one of these things. If you're not expecting it, it's you know, if you have 1,000 hit points, and then all of a sudden, you know, this guy gets to the back of you, all of a sudden you have no hit points in about, you know, 6 seconds. So it's pretty incredible what this thing can do in the right situations. Penetration on standard rounds is 226. Penetrations on premium rounds is 321, which is excellent, but that also, and I talked about this in the first video, that also drops off with distance at a rate that is substantial, right? So you're only getting 321 effectively when you're at proxy range, like 50 meters, right? But as you move out, it scales down, I think, proportionally, right? So if you're at, like, you know, 445, it goes all the way down to, I think, what is it, 230 or something like that. You can check this in-game. You can check it in-game, but yeah, it's not 321 all the way. It's 321 up close, and it falls off with distance. So people saw this and freaked out, lost their minds. So anyways, otherwise the tank is pretty good. The main drawback is, of course, the giant, huge reload, and it's really hard because you don't get a rammer, because this is an autoloader. So it's really hard to bring this reload down. So you end up shooting, you know, 4 rounds, and then you sit there and have a cigarette and think about life for 45 seconds and hope that you don't get rushed before you can do anything about it, and shoot again. So that's the big drawback. You know, you get a heckin' burst, but then you got to sit and think about life for a while. Also, the turret traverse dispersion is excellent, but so if you're sitting in one spot and you're moving the turret around, it's a laser beam, right? So a V-stab doesn't really help you necessarily, and it can't mount one anyways because it's a TD. But if you're moving the tank at all and you're traversing the tracks at all, the bloom is just horrendous. And so I've really gone back and forth a lot on what equipment to put on this thing, and I've experimented a lot, and it's really up in the air, because the power to weight, I'll just say that before we get to that, the power to weight is not very good. Top speed is okay though, so if you're like going down a hill or you get a chance to pick up some speed, you know, it does get up to speed eventually, but it takes a bit to get there. And if you're going down a hill, you can do 60 and you can get there too. So, and the final dispersion is good. So like all these stats together, it's kind of weird, right? You get 11 degrees of gun depression over, I think it's over the front, yeah, 11 over the front, which is very good, and surprisingly bouncy armor. First, we'll go to the armor. The armor looks like cheese, right? It looks like you should be able to shoot this anywhere and just pen all day. But I can tell you with my experience, the thing is, I mean, it's not well armored, but it seems to me that it's amazing how often you hit one of these angly bits. And so I have definitely put rounds, entire clips sometimes of some tanks, into parts that I would have thought for sure would go in, and then they stupidly didn't. So I'm not going to say the tank is well armored, but it is troll, and it can be trollish with this upper hull angle the way it is. You have to aim for flat spots. If you aim for flat spots, you're in all day. But it has these angles where if you hit some of those, you're not going to have a good time. So armor is not really good, but it is trollish. Okay, so equipment-wise, you know, and like I said, I've been all about this, all over the place with this. The power to weight is very bad, and so I don't run a turbo on this thing because it doesn't necessarily, like, the ground resists are okay, so grousers aren't going to help you much. The turbo it only brings you, 10% of this. So that gets you what, like 1.5 power to, horsepower per ton, which isn't, it's still going to be a slow tank. So I haven't noticed anything there that seems to be worth a clip or worth a slot. So what I've kind of settled on is, the IRM is going to bring your turret, your tank traverse, and hull. Moving the hull back and forth, moving the hull side to side, brings those down to a more comfortable level. Which I don't know. It's like there aren't really awesome options. I've thrown the aiming on there just because then I can get down to like 0.31. And then also, I personally, it's either vents or optics. I think I threw on optics just to get, with a good crew, and if you're running the food and so on, you can get pretty okay view. Like you can get almost to max with optics. So I think this is the loadout that I run. But again, this is just such a. You could also make the argument for this. The problem, like what I said, the good thing about this tank, I think, is that it's weird enough that there's a lot of equipment loadouts. Oh, sorry, this is it. Not gas, food. There are enough weird equipment loadouts or weird things about this tank that you could make an argument for several different equipment loadouts. So I'm not sure of the best one. Somebody smarter than me should tell me what the answer is in the comments, though. Please and thank you. Anyways, without further ado, we'll get into the replay.
Let's go!
Alright, so in this game we're going to be following Sonic Monks play his GSOR on Pearl River in an encounter game with 3 artillery and tier 10s in the game. This is kind of like worst case scenario in my opinion, because I don't particularly care for this map, and we got tier 10s in the game and we got 3 arty, so no fun allowed whatsoever, but we'll see what we can do about this anyways. So Sonic is going to go and try to do something on the 1-2-3 line, which I don't know. Like I said, this map is kind of trash, so there's not a whole lot to do over there, but the other sides of the other 2 corridors of this map are all brawly, and that's not really what a GSOR wants to be doing. So, this is the best worst choice, and so we're going to do this. And I agree with this assessment. Wargaming, please fix your maps. Thank you. Anyway, so we see the enemy LHMTV get on the cap right away, and on encounter, I just don't really get why anyone does this, because it takes like 3.5 minutes to cap by yourself in encounter. So it's like never going to happen, and you're not even really exerting cap pressure because it takes so long to actually finish it up. So the guy's not really doing anything except telling us where he is, and Sonic goes ahead and rightly, correctly ignores him. And like I said, the gun handling on this thing, you see the first, when Sonic shot his first round, he shot it pretty fast, and the reticle was huge because he was still pretty much on the move. And so that's what I'm talking about. Like, what I would really love to do is equip a vertical stabilizer to this thing, and it would help tremendously, but you can't, and so this is what it is. It can play like this sort of medium tank role, but you really got to let the gun lay in because the soft stats are just tragic. So Sonic is about 3/4 of the way through his 45-second smoke break, and you see now there's 2 people on the game. Oh, the CDC. Oh my god, I feel kind of bad. I'm just gonna be playing a CDC in 2021. But Sonic is ready to go and can't quite. 11 degrees of gun depression is apparently not quite enough. Sonic takes the hit, so he's already taken the hit. And he said, "All right, fine. Since I've already taken the hit, I will, pay the tax." He's gonna put 3 rounds in and go over and make sure the shots connect, which I agree with. Like what always bothers me is if someone's trying to juke a shot and they fail, right? And so the enemy shoots them, and then they just rush their shot and miss anyways. And it's like, if you've already paid the tax, right? Somebody's trying to you just got shot, and so that guy's on reload. You might as well take your time and aim the next one, so that way the next one actually goes in, and you make it worth it. But so that's what Sonic did. Is he took the time, went over, made sure his next shots went in. He's actually being proxy spotted by this LHMTV, which is, I mean, it's useful because now we know where it is, and we have 3 arty to hopefully click it. Good. Okay, so now he's been reset. But unfortunately, that also means that Sonic is being proxy spotted here as well. And there is no more... Wow. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about with the armor. You auto-aim, it's very common to hit the auto-bounce little trollish angles, and Sonic is shooting APCR, which means it has that, it's more likely to bounce off non-flat things. And so that's pretty much what happened. The tank doesn't have armor, but it does have angles. And so Sonic's first shot experienced what I commonly experience, which is bouncing on things you should never think you would bounce on. Which is why, at first I thought this tank was totally made of paper, and after playing with it and against it a bunch, I've kind of had to change my tune a little bit. It's actually a lot bouncier than it has any right to be honest. And it's so far, it looks like we're 10-6. Looks like we're just cleaning up. It sort of looks like we got pretty good positioning. The guy's going down the 9-0 line, but our bat chat should be able to clean that up. Artie's just, this looks pretty well in the bag, and so Sonic's going to go and try to clean up some Artie, I think, and yeah, just make it happen. But we'll see how it goes. ST1's getting on the cap for some reason. I don't know, but that, and I think this is also kind of interesting. Like, that STB now just gets to deal with that E3 by himself, which is not really a thing that an STB wants to be doing. And he had a 277 to help him out, and the 277 left, and now the STB is dead. So, like, kind of like the game is over, but it's not over, right? You still got to clean the tanks up, and that 277, I won't say he threw it because, look at this troll. Shoots Sonic for doing the thing that he's supposed to be doing. And so now the E3 is up there, no one can spot him, no one knows where he is, and we have to now approach from the choke point, right? The E3 fought the STB from that choke point on the hill, and now the E3 has the hill, so the only way we can get up there and contest him is to go in the hard way, face first against an E3. And try not to get shot in the side, Sonic. Try not to get shot in the side. Oh my god, okay. I think if that E3 had been paying attention, Sonic would be dead right now, but we lucked out. And so this is quickly, like, turning into not okay, right? This is turning not into an okay game, right? So we got 2 people on the cap, but it still takes... Okay, never mind. We got 1 person on the cap. I don't know what the hell just happened there. Like, I think that they think that this game is over, and so they're trying to get some cap points, but they're trying to delay enough so that we can kill the tanks. But also, like, go help kill the tanks. Don't just sit there. Because right now the LT, like, Sonic can't be the first one in because he's a one-shot. LT doesn't want to be the first one to take a shot, so the 277's got to do it. Except the E3 knows this, and so he's holding his shot. 277 puts a good shot in. E3 still hasn't shot, so he still can't really poke out. This E3, kudos to him, playing it about as well as he could in a 1v3 without a turret. So, he's just, everyone, this is very awkward, right? Because no one wants to flank. No one goes around. And because this E3 is in the position that he's in, he's allowed to just go ahead and say, fight me. And he's tucked himself into this little corner. And in order to kill him, we're going to have to go in the hard way from the front. And so these guys are just having a little slap fight. E3 looks like he comes down off the cliff backwards, and 277 throws it. Okay. So... this is very uncomfortable. By the way, the defender is now on the cap, so we're not capping that either. Okay, so this is not like I don't know what to say right now. All right, so now that Super Conk is at the cap too, so our ST1 is probably dead because a Super Conk. Ooh, get the shot. Sonic does not have a shot, but he doesn't want to. Oh my God, is there a pixel? That's a tracking shot, so we don't want to do this. We don't want to hold off. So, all right. So now things are all of a sudden not looking so great. We had like a 4-tank lead. I don't know what happened. Well, I do know what happened. People sat on the cap. Like, either cap out or get off of it, right? So the problem there is that they tried to do both, and that's what threw it. So Sonic goes ahead and picks up the kill, which is, I think, critical. And the game's not over though, because we have an LT who's, basically a tier 8.5 light tank on full hit points. So this is okay. Defender's on 200 hit points. This is a winnable game. We just have to play carefully. And so, Sonic is going to reload another premium clip, and so we'll see what happens. Okay. Reading the chat here, people forget about the defender and Kong. So Sonic is loading another premium clip, which I agree with. And you see in the chat here, the LT-432 says, upside down, you're alone. So the LT must have tried to get off the cliff in an aggressive way, which was unnecessary. We have so much time. Like, even now, we have 30 seconds, and, we had like a minute when we finished up the E3 game, or the E3 brawl. So, like, we had time. There was no reason the LT needed to go down the hill in an unsafe way, but he did, and he flipped himself from full hit points. So now it's Sonic who's a one-shot against a defender and a Super Conk with 17 seconds. Oh my god. You know, this was a tough one because, like, alright, the cap is a long one, so I think, but if you have 4 rounds and you can't clip them both, so you probably want to shoot. Oh, okay, so we got that one to reset, and that one to take out the gun, and then Sonic, conservatively, and I think again correctly, he says, alright, I can't afford to take a hit, so even though I could probably maybe bounce or whatever, like, that Super Conk would have returned fire. Sonic would have stayed there any longer. So he put the shots in that he could safely, and he went ahead and reclipped. And now, if I was this Super Conk, and this is very awkward for him, right? Because, you know, the GSOR is not a fast tank, but it's certainly faster than the Super Conk. And so if the Super Conk gets off the cap, then this becomes a lot. I don't know. If it was me and the Super Conk, I would have gotten off the cap now that I know he's there, and tried to, like, I don't know. This is very awkward, right? So, like, this is gonna come down to fighting, because we're almost to the point where Sonic gets like one more reset. It takes like 3.5 minutes to cap out by yourself, and there's only 5 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game. So Sonic has a full clip. Super Conk's at 1,600 hit points, which is not clip potential, right? He does not. He has to. If he had a 5th round, he could maybe finish it off. Even then, I think it might be a little bit short. So Sonic is going to try to disengage or something, I suppose. He says going city, and this, I kind of disagree with this. Like, he's trying to disengage, and I hear you in a way, but this is not a conservative enough path, right? He's not keeping an eye on the Super Conk and where he was, and so here he's spotted, and he didn't. You know, it's kind of a forehead moment here. So we got to bait the shot from the Super Conk because now he's there, but now he knows we're here. This is not where you want to be. So now if I was the Super Conk, now I would be facing this way and driving straight at Sonic, because now he's kind of isolated out in the middle of the field. But luckily the Super Conk doesn't seem to know what he's doing. And so, okay. Sonic was able to put a shot in for free, and gets him to 1345, which is, again, not clip potential, unless Sonic gets very, very lucky, right? His clip potential is like 1080 average roll, so if he gets unlucky, he's SOL. If he gets very, very lucky, maybe he could finish him, but that would be tremendously lucky. And Sonic, I don't know what you're doing, bro. This is like asking to get shot in the side. But okay, what he's trying to do is create interesting angles to come at the Super Conk in a way that he doesn't expect. But this was really risky, because if he would have been spotted there, again, he's out in the open with nowhere to go, no cover whatsoever, and like if that Super Conk would have spotted him, it's just over. So lucky, he lucked out here. So we'll just see. So we've still got. I think Sonic has been shooting premium rounds this whole time, but you know what? That's whatever. Like, the tank shooting tier 10s in this game, especially in the last few minutes, has been super tight, and you can't afford to not be hitting your shots. So it's forgivable, right? It is what it is. It's a tier 10 game. So all right. So wait. Let's see what we can do. And there's the Super Conk is again not aware of. Okay. So Super Conk is apparently irritated by all these shenanigans, and decides to press W finally 1,000 hit points later. But this is still an issue, right? And so Sonic reclips again, which again, I think this is probably the wisest choice, because he can take this little land bridge here, which I don't know if you, the viewer, knew this was here, but it's there. You can totally do that. And the idea here, I think, being that he's going to reclip, and then once he's loaded, finally, somehow he's been allowed to do this. He will be able to be in clip potential, because the Super Conk is now at 1,000 hit points. So, whoa, okay, this is. Now, okay, so now, this is very awkward. This is very uncomfortable. What are we going to do here? So if Sonic gets shot once, he's dead. And the Super Conk has has Hesh pen that's like 210, I think? Or is it 120? I forget. I think it's 120, but it's really good. And I'm pretty sure that he can pen with Hash, and he doesn't. Okay, here we go. Let's get this 6 seconds for the clip. He's got to put it all in. Oh my god. Okay, and he put a fire out. Oh my god. All right. So Sonic even managed to set the Super Conk on fire, but luckily the Super Conk had an automatic fire extinguisher, and got lucky with the rolls. This was the closest game that I can pot like this. I can't imagine a closer game. So, wowzer. All right, so at the end of the game, Sonicmon ended up taking home 5,000 damage, 6 kills, and 600 spotting. That got him the ace tanker because he got a Piscucci, or was it a Piscucci's? Or, yeah, for the arty kill. Whatever the one is for the arty kills. I think, or Dimitru's, something like that. The defender, and then the 6 kills gets him a top gun. That means that because he's got courageous resistance, he gets the XP that he would have gotten if it were a win, even though it was a loss. So that's why he still managed to get an ace and a defeat. It's hard to do, but he did it. And because Sonic was shooting a lot of tier 10s, he got 1,047 base XP, and yeah, wow, what a game. And ended up barely pulling a profit here of, I guess, I was 88,000, but that was mostly due to his personal reserve. So I think without the personal reserve, he probably would have broken even, I think. Math. Anyways, so that's the game, and congratulations to Sonic. If you didn't manage to get this in the loot boxes over Christmas, I have a feeling, normally Wargaming likes to sell these things six or 7 months after the fact when they're first released. So, just like they just did for the 277 or the T77 was released during the Waffentrager event, and then if you're reading this or watching this when it was released, the 277 is now available in the shop for real money and just straight up. And it's been, what is that now? Just about 4 or 5 months. So if you didn't get the GSOR and you like what you see and you want that thing, don't be sad. I'm sure that Wargame is probably going to sell it soon enough. So anyways, that's the video, and thanks to Sonicmon for sending in the video and sending in the replay, and thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one. All right, thanks. Bye.